Welcome to Beyond Brave. I'm Kyla, and here's where we dive into stories of hope, bravery, and laughter. Millions followed our journey with my daughter Bella, but now it's time to go beyond the headlines and highlight reels to those raw, real moments I haven't shared anywhere else. So are you ready to go beyond brave? Let's dive in.
But if you want it to be perfect, you can make it perfect.
Hello, Bravelings and the Beyond Brave world out there. Today, I am honored to welcome a truly inspiring leader to Beyond Brave, Meaghan Stovel McKnight, the CEO of Make-A-Wish Canada. With over 2 decades of experience in mission-driven leadership, Meaghan has dedicated her career to strengthening the health system through nonprofit work. She's been at the forefront of transforming Canada's largest charities and now leads Make-A-Wish in its mission to grant life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. My daughter Bella, of course, being one of them.
Yay!
Yay! Meaghan is not only a powerhouse in the nonprofit world, but she also deeply understands the impact a wish can have, not just for the child, but for the entire family. As we dive into this conversation today, we're going to explore the magic of wishes, the strength of wish families, and how we can all play a role in bringing hope to kids who need it most. So welcome, Meaghan, to Beyond Brave. I'm so happy you're here. And I got to start with, it's World Wish Month.
It is. Thank you for having me here, Kyla. I'm so thrilled to be on your podcast.
Yeah. And in my world, April is it's been primarily Organ and Tissue Donation Awareness Month. And now, as I want to, I've always wanted to help volunteer and be more of a part of supporting Make-A-Wish. I'm really excited. I'm going to be a part of the 20th annual Golf for Wishes campaign coming up. Yeah, and then just like realizing, wait, April is all about Make-A-Wish as well.
It is, yeah. In our world, April is all about wishes because it's World Wish Month. Yeah,
that's awesome. So like April is just like the best month so far.
I know. It's a good month. Yeah. We used to only celebrate World Wish Day on April 29th. So we've had a World Wish Day for years. But actually last year we shifted to make it a celebration all month long. Because there's so many wonderful stories to tell. There's so many moments to celebrate. And it's really our opportunity to celebrate the power of wishes so that we can, rally everyone to help us grant more life-changing wishes for children facing critical illness.
Yeah, we need the month, not just the day. We need the month.
We do. We got lots of great stories to tell.
Yeah.
And this year in World Wish Month, we're celebrating an even like a really major milestone here at Make-A-Wish Canada. The first wish was granted in Canada in 1983. So that's 41 years ago. And since that time in 1983, we were thrilled to announce this month that we have actually granted 40,000 wishes from coast to coast, which is pretty remarkable.
No way.
Yeah, 40,000 over 41 years. Amazing.
That's amazing. That is a big number.
It is a big number. And what's amazing for me is just like that's 40,000 children, that's 40,000 wish families and their communities that are around them, their all of their extended family, their medical team, their classmates from school, all of the volunteers and donors who made that possible. Like that 40,000 amplifies into like hundreds of thousands, over 1 million of people. Like it's just that happens because this country comes together to support wish kids and families. And we just couldn't be more grateful.
That's awesome. Yes, I definitely want to get into more details around that because not only is that an amazing number for wishes, but that also means that's a big number for kids fighting critical illness.
It really is.
And so we really want to share some ways of how our entire country can help support.
Yeah. The reality is research shows us that every 2 hours, a new child is diagnosed with a high-risk life-threatening illness in Canada. Every 2 hours. So we're going to have an hour-long podcast here. That means, within the next hour, another child will be diagnosed. So we need to rally together. And that's what we're celebrating this month is all the people who make that possible. And we're trying to invite so many more people to come on that journey with us.
Yeah. You guys we have in our world has so many more powerful ways to understand pediatric illnesses and critical illnesses. So there is being more diagnosed. And so that just shows how much more support we need to keep backing Make-A-Wish Canada for all these kiddos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have more kids coming to us all the time, and you're right, exactly. It's because,
Yeah.
illnesses that children, they may not even been diagnosed. There may not have been a treatment plan, but now
Yeah.
there is, and Make-A-Wish is part of that treatment journey. So it is while it's hard that so many more kids are getting diagnosed. It is wonderful that there are treatment journeys, and Make-A-Wish is part of that for so many kids who may not have even been diagnosed before.
Yeah, and this whole topic is very, very specific to my daughter, my late daughter
Hmm.
Bella's story. So
Yeah,
she was born with a life-threatening illness called SCID, and
yeah,
so that's the severe combined immune deficiency. And our province of Saskatchewan wasn't screening newborns. There's many provinces and U.S. states that have screened for years, and that sets them up for life-saving treatment as soon as they're born.
yeah,
And so now, so when Bella was born, that wasn't in place. And that is the primary reason why she was able to receive a wish was for that life-threatening illness. And now Saskatchewan is screening our newborns. And so that condition, that disease was not caught very often. And now it's going to be caught more. So there,
yeah.
just that's just one example of more wish kids coming up.
Yeah, yeah, but that's progress, right? And
Yeah.
and we'll be here to be able to help those kids. And
Yeah.
oh, Bella was one of those kids whose courage just stayed with you. What a remarkable little girl.
Yeah. My little spunky sweet pea. She
Yeah,
in short, if people I was going to mention this a little bit later on, but if people don't know about Bella's wish story, she was eligible since she was born with SCID.
yeah,
And at the time they had said, it's kind of better to wait and grant the wishes when the child is between 3 and 5.
mm,
And so after Bella had a successful bone marrow transplant at 1, we're like, okay, let's wait till she's a little older and she can, voice what she wants her wish to be. And
yeah,
so when we waited till she was 5, that was right around the time when her Alberta team was like, we need to list her for a bowel transplant. And we're like,
yeah,
okay, let's get this wish going because
yeah,
now we have another life-threatening challenge in her way. And
yeah,
yeah, that was kind of
yeah,
her start to that. But I was going to mention earlier, I'm really excited to join the 20th annual Golf for Wishes event happening. This is happening in June 12th. So yes, everybody listening, I'm going to be golfing in Saskatoon.
Woo!
And I'm going to be sharing all over my socials for Make-A-Wish. So I'm going to be a part of helping wishes come true, which I'm pumped about. And it's a time dedicated to celebrating the power of wishes here. And so um, I was going to ask you, how can we tell, how does Make-A-Wish Canada participate in global initiative? And what are some ways that Canadians can get involved to support not just this month, but like year
Yeah.
long?
All year long, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wishes happen around the world for and I think we have affiliates in over 42 countries, but we are the Canadian organization here. So we are here solely focused on Canada, Canadian charity focused on Canadian kids. And all month long, we're inviting Canadians like you to help us be wish makers, to help create even more unforgettable moments for wish kids. So you might ask, what's a wish maker? And because wishes come together with so many ingredients and so many powerful people who from all walks of life across Canada, we call a wish maker anyone who takes action in support of wish kids. So whether you're fundraising or you're participating in an event, you're donating, you're volunteering, maybe you're becoming a corporate partner, maybe you have an employee giving program at your office, or you want to do a jeans day and everyone donates $5 and you give it to Make-A-Wish. You can spread the word through social media, like on the podcast like this.
Yes.
But there's lots of ways to get involved. If you go to makeawish.ca, you can find out ways in your community as well. So there's an area called chapters. And so for Saskatchewan, you can click down on Saskatchewan and find out about the golf tournament on June 12th and our Women for Wishes campaign, and just lots of amazing things that are going on all across the province, all across the country. Because we need to keep the message out there, and we need to get people involved in ways that they're really inspired and excited about. Because we got a lot of kids, we got a lot of work to do, we got a lot of kids to get to.
Perfect. Okay, so now that we all know exactly how we can become wish makers,
Yeah,
and when you're listening to this pod right now, please make an effort to be a wish maker,
yeah,
and for whatever province you're in, or for any province that you'd like, and sign up for your chapter. So in order to help people that just understand more about how Make-A-Wish works and how to be a wish maker, what do you find is the most common misconception about
mm,
Make-A-Wish, and what
yeah.
do you wish more people understood about the organization?
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that question. So, like I said earlier, every 2 hours, a child somewhere in Canada is diagnosed with a critical illness. And there's currently over 3,700 wishes waiting from coast to coast. That's a lot of kids who are already in our program. They're already diagnosed with a critical illness and they're waiting for their wish. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions that people have is the misconception that Make a Wish serves only terminal children. So a lot of people
Mhm.
say that they think that that's only what wishes are granted for. And there's kids who are on various stages of their medical journey. A child's medical condition, they don't need to be terminal to be eligible for a wish. In fact, while many do pass away, they may pass away shortly after their wish. They may pass away years after they wish. They may go on to live a long, healthy life, and whatever that definition means for them. But the wish itself is an integral part of the healing journey for the child and their family, because we believe and research proves that wishes improve health outcomes, and that word health is so important because health medicine will treat the illness, but health is such a broader term. Health is about how that family relates and how that child can see their future. Mental health is a big part of this as well. So research shows that 100% of medical providers said a wish experience improves the child's quality of life, and that's part of their health journey. 90% of wish parents said that they felt a wish was necessary for a child's medical treatment. 90% of medical providers identified it as a turning point, saying it actually helped the child stay committed to their treatment regimen. So, and then there are families where their child sadly does pass away, and it does happen. We have to remember that impact of that wish extends beyond the individual child to their families as well. It's created this opportunity for powerful memories that the family can have, that it can serve as that positive point of strength to help build the resilience to face really difficult times. And wishes matter on that journey as well. So as the demand for wishes continues to grow, there's kids and families who are at various stages of their journey with a critical illness, whatever that looks like, and wishes help them in their own unique way.
Absolutely. Yeah, you 100% answered my second question, which was going to be how does granting a wish impact a child's medical journey overall and
Mm,
well-being? And there's
yeah.
so many facts and key points you mentioned in there that I didn't even realize. But I completely connect with and get because of Bella's wish and the way that worked out. Like just even simplifying it to her whole her wish granting experience was over a year and a half long.
Yeah.
And that's huge amount of support for her through a difficult medical journey for that long in her lifetime. Like that is absolutely amazing. And it made a huge difference for her. I remember from starting the process,
Yeah.
it wasn't just, let's figure out what your child's wishes are and make it happen. It was every little like tidbits to medium size to large size, like mailing gifts, writing letters,
Yeah.
video chats with our what Bella called our wish fairies. So they were the two wonderful ladies who helped set up Bella's wish, and they
Yeah.
were out in Saskatoon, and we'd FaceTime with them, and she'd call them their like friendships were developed, and
Yeah.
and just the way that this supported Bella through her medical journey for over a year, and then to have her wish at the end of it and her survive long enough to see her wish and receive her
Yeah.
wish, it is a big experience and a big part of their medical journey for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Wishes aren't just a fleeting gift or a moment in time, right? Some people
No.
think, oh, it's a thing or it's a trip or it's a playground or whatever it is. It's the journey,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Oh, yeah.
carefully curated journey designed to complement that specific child's unique treatment plan.
Yeah.
We sometimes call it a form of precision therapy for a child and their family. For
Yeah.
a child, like in the case of Bella, I know that, for her, like you said, her journey had multiple milestones on the clinical side. And we really tried to create a program that really supported her on that. Things like coming to meet with her to like design what her princess themed playhouse was going to look like and draw it out with her on shrinky dinks and then put them
Yeah.
in the oven and make them really small and then plant those seeds in her backyard so that then
Yeah.
when she went to sick kids to be inpatient for a long time, she could remember that her playground was growing when she wasn't
Yeah.
there. And we could send pictures and stories of how that playground was growing. And it was like, it was like a Lego playhouse. And then it was a Barbie playhouse. And it was just getting bigger and bigger. So when she came back, the magic had taken place and her Princess
Yeah.
Playhouse was there, right? And
Yeah.
that journey, that anticipation, those moments of joy, this is play-based therapy.
Yeah.
This is speaking a child's language and bringing them hope and joy and strength when and giving them some control. There's so much in their life they don't have control over. They have control over what their wish is. And it's our job to just bring that magic to life for them.
Oh yeah, even like Bella was so excited when her wish fairies would mail her like a card, or they mail her like
Yeah.
coloring books, and like they would get a list from me of like what she liked, favorite characters, favorite things to do, and they'd send her gifts every once in a while. And just going to the post office and knowing that her Make-A-Wish fairy sent her something was like,
Yeah.
you'd think that was her wish. Like she was just so excited. Like she's
Yeah.
I'm going to I got a gift at the post office. Like,
Oh, remember when you were a kid, if you got something in the mail?
oh
Like,
yeah,
so exciting, right? It has
yeah,
my name on it, right? Like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's just
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the whole journey is amazing. I did have like there were so many unknowns about Make-A-Wish that I had before she was eligible for one.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's so much I learned about it. It's remarkable.
Yeah. And we
So I
really
like
try to design those journeys like specific for each child
yeah,
because each illness also is quite different, right?
yeah,
For a child with a rare disease, in the case like Bella, it's a journey that can go on several years. So there'll be a lot more moments along the way. For a child who maybe has cancer and they're going through 2 years of very, very aggressive chemotherapy, we design it to be the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like you can get through these, and then we have kids who have countdown calendars of how many more therapies do I have until that excitement is there. Or for a child who's palliative, we'll have kids who are referred to us who may pass away in the next 2 or 3 days. And we can deliver a wish in as quick as 24 hours. So
oh
we
wow.
really try to reflect our program to the very specific needs of that child and their family, to bring them the support they need when they need it most.
Yeah, that is something I actually didn't realize before, is that you guys need to work in a sense that, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, if you have like a urgent need, like
Yeah.
level of wishes that you need to abide to as
Yeah.
the requests come in. And yeah, if
Yeah.
that's I didn't realize that before.
Yeah.
You can grant a wish in 20. Oh, that is really, really good. That is needed. Yeah,
Yeah.
not every wish is you're not able to take a year to go through it all
No.
the time. That's not the timeline for every wish.
No, and we had we've had stories where we'll have a child whose their wish was to go on a trip, and maybe it was to meet princesses, and that's what they really want to do, but their health doesn't get to a place where they can. So maybe they actually can't leave the hospital, and the
Yeah.
plan is that they were going to, but they just can't leave the hospital. But we know that the heart of the wish is they want to meet princesses. We actually had a wish last year that was like this, and at the end of that child's and that family's journey, we found out that the child was going to pass away in the next couple of days. So getting on an airplane wasn't possible. But
Yeah.
we absolutely could have princesses come see them. We absolutely could. We went to their home and we transformed her bedroom into a princess bedroom, so that when she came home from the hospital for her final days, she was in her princess bedroom and she had princesses around her. And we identified what the heart of the wish was, and reflecting what we could do for that family given where that child's health was. We tried to create a moment that was powerful for them and for that child's siblings and their parents, because that's a very difficult time for that family, and we wanted to
Yeah.
support them in the way that would really bring them joy in those final days.
That brings up a question for me, as I've
Yeah.
is there an age limit to wishes? Is it 18?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. No, it's not 18 actually. It's so
oh,
you can be referred to make a wish. You can't
okay.
be referred before your third birthday. So while kids may have like Bella, she had
Yeah.
a diagnosis that would have referred her. We don't accept kids into the program till they're 3, and it's
Okay.
because we want their voice to be part of that journey.
Yeah.
So you can qualify between the ages of 3 and 17.
Okay.
So you can be referred up until the day before your 18th birthday.
Okay. So say you had I have a lot of friends I know who their child has gone through palliative care, and
Mhm.
they're of an older age, like in their
Yeah.
teens.
Yeah.
And have you ever had, or how would it work if there was a child who is older and they understand
Yeah.
very well that they're going to pass away, and their
Yeah.
wish is to have something during the day that they know or around the time they know they're going to pass. Is that able
Yeah.
to be granted in that sense?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, we've had, we've had wish. We had a wish actually just last year, and it was a child a teenager who was in the hospital, and he knew he was going to pass away, and he wanted a gaming system because he wanted a game with his friends because he couldn't go out and play with them anymore. He was in the
Yeah.
hospital, and he was
Yeah.
going to be there until he passed away.
Yeah.
And so we were able to get him his computer set up in his hospital so that in the way that he could play with his friends and just have that joy in his day, because he knew he was going to pass away, but he didn't want to just sit there and dread that. He wanted to play with his friends while he could.
Yeah.
And so we made that possible. And so, we'll work directly with that child to figure out what we can do within their constraints to fulfill their wish. And in his case, it was, I want to play with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask you next too, what are some of the most meaningful or unique wishes you've seen granted?
Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing wishes because every wish is as unique as the child they are, right? Like I would talk about Bella's wish and the beauty of building this, of growing a princess playground in the backyard. That's pretty darn amazing. I could talk about Jacob. Jacob is a wish kid who's 13, like he's a 13-year-old boy. So he loves, like fast cars, and he wants to be an F1 driver, and he wants to be an extreme scuba diver and all those things. But he was born prematurely. And he actually was diagnosed with he had epileptic seizures and so forth, diagnosed with a nervous system disorder. So he's confined to a wheelchair, but really wants to live life large as a 13-year-old boy. And so his wish was that he wished to feel fearless.
Oh,
that was his wish. How great of a wish is that, right? And so here we are. We're like, how do we help Jacob feel fearless? How does he have that moment? So we worked closely with his clinical team to make sure that we weren't putting him in a situation that was unsafe with his parents and so forth. And we were actually able to build get the appropriate harness built and so forth, so that we could safely take him tandem skydiving. And so 13-year-old Jacob jumped out of a plane tandem skydiving with a skydive instructor in Quebec. It was and so we had a video crew with him, and that video of Jacob, the moment he is launching from the plane, this like absolute fearless joy. This child, and it was just like, honestly, I think about it, I get chills. And so that video, I'm happy to share it with you. But that video, apparently Jacob watches it every single day since it happened. Like every single day he relives that moment of the door opening and him jumping out. And it was just, to me, I think like that's an example where like we really understood the heart of the wish, and we wanted to create that moment of complete fearlessness and excitement and just the feeling of being alive. So that's, I think that's a great story. We had Christos. Christos is another kid. He has a gastrointestinal disorder. He wished to be a game show host. How cool is that?
Oh, that is cool. That is cool.
So, and this, I've met Christos. Christos has like personality in spades, like just like walks into a room and has like full attention of everyone. It was just unreal. So for him, his what he was able to do is he co-hosted an episode of CBC's Family Feud, which was pretty amazing. And when he was on the set, they just treated him like a star. We got him all decked out with a really cool suit. He's with Jerry D at a private dressing room. They had all like, of course they had his rider. So one of the snacks he wants in his room and so forth. He had that really, really unforgettable experience. And, Jerry D and our partners at CBC were pretty incredible to make that show happen. And again, we got some great photos and video from that one. So, just the most beautiful stories. Some of them can be as simple as, a child who is immunocompromised and, can't leave their home and they miss friends and they want a puppy and they just want a buddy. Right. And the moment, this is why it's so important for us in that wish discovery process to really understand the child, understand like not what they're asking for, but what they're asking for. Like what's the heart of the wish? What do they need out of this experience? And then our job is to create a journey that offers that to them. And it's just like every wish is as beautiful as the child it serves. It's just incredible.
It is. Thank you for telling us those amazing stories while I had my little mini cough attack.
Sorry.
No, that's perfect. I needed that. I was like, please go away. To my cough, not Meaghan.
Yeah. I got so many stories, Kyla. I got so many stories.
Okay, this is so cool. Like jumping out of a plane. Like, I didn't even know that could happen for a wish. Like, that is amazing. I was gonna say, like, what do you do if a kid wishes to go to space, or like or like, are
Oh,
you allowed to like
yeah.
grant wishes like pets? I didn't realize
Yeah.
you could actually give away live animals. What if they wanted a vehicle, like a car or
We don't do motorized vehicles.
okay.
Definitely no. But we do have some teenagers, like if they're like 16 or 17 or maybe 18, maybe they have a car and they're like, they want it like decked out. So, so
Okay,
they're
yeah.
like, so we will like,
Hit my
we can
ride.
modify and we can pimp a ride. We can, if that's the right thing for that child. How cool is that? We don't do medical treatment. Obviously, we don't do education or tuition. Don't do.
Right.
There are some. I shouldn't say we don't do this, don't do that. We actually do so many things. The reason there's real constraints around this,
Yeah.
just to ensure that there's somewhat equity. But we also, like in the case of pets, we have to be really thoughtful. Is that family ready to really take on a 15-year commitment of taking care of a pet? We had a situation where we had someone who asked for a horse. We were like, "Ooh," but we actually had a partner who was willing to donate a horse. But we needed to make
Wow.
sure that family could take care of that, and they lived on a farm, and they had all like so. It's very unique to the scenario that's there, and we have to make sure that. So obviously, that's why parents and the caregivers or whoever the guardians are really involved in those decisions with us.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, did you hear so we know that Bella's wish came true. Her primary wish was the princess castle that she
yeah.
had built in the backyard. Do you know of her the other two wishes she had? So she was in her wish booklet, they had
Okay.
her come up with 3 wishes.
Yeah, we always ask for 3. That's
Well,
right.
yeah, they always ask for 3. So, and then then they had their special ways to figure out, okay, which one is the one that she's like really wanting the most. But did you ever hear what her other 2 ones were?
No, I didn't, but I want to know.
Okay. They're awesome. I was like, pick anyone because these are all awesome. So her one her one wish, but no, the princess castle was her number 1. And then her second one was a life-size Barbie motorhome. Because Bella
Yeah,
loves going camping. Her favorite thing to do is go camping. And she's like, I want a life-size Barbie camping motorhome.
that is so cool.
Like we
I gotta
driving
remember the Barbie. When I was a kid growing up, the Barbie camper was like the thing
yeah,
to have. So, like, full respect. That's pretty cool.
and she designed it so it would be like we'd be driving down like Highway 1 with this bright pink Barbie motorhome. Like, yes,
Amazing.
that's great.
Totally amazing.
Yeah, and then her third one was really funny, and I was like, because it wasn't just a trip to Disneyland. She's like,
Yeah.
no, I want to go there because I know that's where the princesses are, but I also know that's where the bad guys in the movies are. And I'm like, wait, what? She's like, I would like to go to have a princess sleepover party with the princesses, but before we do that, we need to punish all the bad guys like the Ursulas and the Jafars by 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 way of dunk tank. So she wanted to
I
line up
just picture Bella like throwing the softball and the dunk bug tank goes down and there's Jafar. And now we put the next one. Like, that's great visual. Great visual.
She's like, we're gonna dunk tank all the bad guys, and then we're gonna go party and have pillow fights and a sleepover, and the princesses and I are just gonna party because
Oh
we
my
dunk tank.
gosh.
It was so sweet. It's cute.
But like that imagination, right?
Yeah.
Like we got to capture that imagination and try to bring as many of these to life as we can because they're just
Yeah.
like oh my gosh, from the mouths of babes, amazing.
Yeah, pretty sweet. Okay, so I wanted to mention to you, I had some listeners on my Instagram channel come in with some questions, and
Awesome.
I think we answered a couple, so we'll test my memory here. So how exactly does a child qualify for a wish?
Mhm.
And as far as I know, you had said they qualify between the ages of 3 and 17.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be terminal, but does their diagnosis have to be life-threatening?
Yeah, so we have what we call our 4 high-risk life-threatening principles,
Okay.
and they were developed by a series of pediatric specialists from across the country. So we've got a medical advisory committee that's populated. We have got Dr. Heather Hodgson-Vadine from right there in Saskatoon, who actually chairs that committee now, and so they advise us on those four principles, and then also how they apply to modern medicine, because treatments are changing all the time. New illnesses are diagnosed and could be qualified, or there could be an illness that may have been life threatening before, but now there's a new treatment and it's not. And so we're constantly evaluating that, but we do apply the same principles consistently to all kids. They also can't have had a wish from another wish granting organization. So we're trying to make sure every child gets a wish. So if they've already had one from another wish or granting organization, we work with partner organizations just to make sure that we're trying to spread the love around to all of the kids. And so they will be referred to us, and then the child's treating physician needs to agree that this would help with that child's treatment plan. And then we can move forward.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there was Children's Wish, right?
Correct.
So they did Make-A-Wish and Children's Wish combine?
They did in 2019. Okay. Yeah.
That's
yeah. So we had, so we had Make-A-Wish. There was like maybe, I think 8 or 9 chapters of Make-A-Wish across Canada. And then there was a national organization, Children's Wish. And in 2019, everyone came together to form one organization called the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Canada, with the goal of trying to get more wishes to more kids. And that's exactly what we've been able to do over the last few years. It's pretty amazing. Before merger, I think the highest year was something like 1,550 wishes or something like that. And last year, I'm thrilled to share, we granted 2,011 wishes coast to coast in 745 unique communities. So that is more wishes, getting to more communities, more kids in need. We're really realizing that incredible history of all those organizations coming together with our vision of really trying to get to every eligible child.
Yeah, that's awesome. And okay, so to help our wish makers and those of us that are just learning to be wish makers and want to be wish makers, so to help them better understand limits or guidelines, I think helps them realize how much they're needed, like financially and like just effort wise.
Yeah.
So what are the limits around, like financially, health, logistics, if a wish isn't possible as originally imagined, or if it's like, how do you ensure, like, if a wish is grantable, how do you know they're fundraising enough, or they have enough financial effort? What are the limitations around that?
Sure. So we're really trying to create an equitable wish program. We want to try and get to, so I'm going to talk about that, and then I'll talk about what happens if we can't grant something someone wants. Okay. So we publicly, we use the number of $10,000 as the symbolic value of a wish. Some wishes cost a little more, some wishes cost a little bit less. We obviously try to work with lots of gift and kind partners to help offset some of those financial costs. We have incredible partnerships with organizations like WestJet and Blue Cross, who, provide gifts of flight and provide medical insurance for all of our wish kids and families who actually couldn't. Blue Cross does this, who actually couldn't even qualify for medical coverage and therefore couldn't travel. So there's amazing partners that donate things to us, and that's pretty extraordinary. But a wish a child can have. Every child has access to the same list of wishes, so they can travel, they can to go somewhere, they can have something, they could be something, like maybe they want to be a fireman for the day. We actually had a kid once who wanted to be a SWAT team member. So we designed this whole wish experience in partnership with the local police department. It was a whole day where he went in the morning, got all fitted out, and they got all briefed about the SWAT takedown they were going to do of SpongeBob SquarePants. And then they went and took down SpongeBob SquarePants. It was pretty cool. The fourth option is to meet someone. So you may want to meet your favorite celebrity, sports star. We have people want to meet the prime minister. So that's another one. And then to give. It's the probably less than 1% of our wishes are to give. But often teenagers, they'll get a wish and then they'll feel like, but I don't need anything. I already am. I'm really grateful for everything that I have. And so we say, well, is there someone you'd want to help with your wish? So they may make a gift to the children's hospital. So they may purchase some equipment, for that, or for their school. or, to a shelter or something like that. So they actually get to go be a leader in their community. Sometimes we'll have a kid who wishes it forward to another kid. So that's sort of the program. We ask each child to identify 3 wishes, like you said earlier, just like Bella.
Right.
And our goal is to really understand the heart of that wish. Sometimes the heart, like you said, it could be that, we have a 6-year-old little boy who wants to go to space. And we're like, well, we don't go to space. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But the heart of the wish is that he wants to be an astronaut. He wants to feel what that would be like, right? So what could we do? Well, maybe we design an experience that's really unique for him, where he gets like an astronaut suit, and maybe it's a virtual reality experience where he goes to Mars, or he goes into one of those skydiving chambers that are around the country, like iFly, and he has the opportunity to float or something like that. So there's different things that we can do to identify what the heart of that wish is, and really bring it to life. And as we design that, we'll of course have the parents involved to make sure that we really think we're capturing the essence of the magic of that child. But it's really important that we're understanding the why. And it's not just the what, but it's the why, because the granting of the wish is less about the what. Like, while that playground for Bella was so exciting at the end, the how, that journey all the way along, the anticipation, being seen for who you are and who your dreams are, and us seeing you and knowing you wanted coloring books and not a stuffed animal, right? Like, those are the things that really, that's where the value comes in. It's being seen and valued and heard and celebrated and recognized and supported. And that's what the wish journey does. We do have some things that are asked for that are beyond the scope of what we can afford. So we have very consistent wish policies. And then again, that allows us to have a very equitable program. No matter where you live in the country, your wish will have access to the same policies. So that allows us to be consistent and make sure that there's equity. But our goal is, irrespective of how much we spend or where you live or what your wish is that it's the value itself is that impact. The value is that we understood what your heart of your wish was, and we delivered a journey that complemented your unique medical experience, to bring you hope, strength, and joy when you needed it most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you for all that information. I am actually learning a lot more than I thought I knew.
Awesome. Well, this is great. You're going to have to tell everybody the golf tournament.
Oh yes. I am so excited for the golf tournament. I love golfing, and I get to share on my socials. So I'm just really excited to share more, because there is just so many aspects. It is so much more about being a wish maker and supporting this organization, but understanding how it all works for a wish to actually happen. And all the organizations and the partners involved that also need support, and the financial economics around it, and just everything that wish makers need to understand, because we need more of you.
Yeah. And I mean, when we know wishes improve health outcomes, like we know, I gave some examples before of some of the, how it's a turning point and so forth. We know that, there's examples that have shown wishes actually decrease healthcare utilization. So there was this research study done at Nationwide Children's Hospital that showed that patients who received a wish were 2.5 times less likely than their peers who did not receive a wish to have unplanned ER visits in the 2 years following their wish. That's pretty incredible. There was another research study done where in an affiliate elsewhere in the world, they actually had 200 kids who had cancer who were on the waiting list for a wish, but they only had funding for 100. And of course, we want to move forward with 200, but there is only funding for 100. So they put 100 in year 1 and 100 in year 2. And they asked some questions to the kids about how their mental health and wellness was. And it really showed the kids who got their wish sort of at the end of year 1, while the other ones were still waiting, anxiety was reduced, depression was reduced, like things that are really meaningful in the life of a child facing critical illness. So there's real medical benefits to that. And despite all of those benefits, we receive no government funding, none.
What?
So this is none. So this is where it's so important that the community comes around and helps us in every way we can. And we totally respect and get that, everyone has different means, has different time on their hands, but every little bit matters. So, whether you're becoming a monthly donor, just go to makeawish.ca, sign up as a monthly donor, $20 a month. Right? Like it's, and you it's amazing the impact you can have with a gift like that. Or maybe you decide you want to go to the golf tournament and, get your company to sponsor a foursome, and that could actually potentially even fund a wish, right? There's volunteer opportunities. There's, make a one-time gift, sponsor Kyla in her golf tournament, right? There's so many ways, or just this World Wish Day, this World Wish Month, just go on and make your first gift to Make-A-Wish. right? Just it doesn't matter what the amount is. Join us in our journey to get to every child. That's what we're asking everyone to do, is do something, be a wish maker.
Yes. Oh, that's so needed. There's so much I'm learning. I didn't realize all the health aspects and the studies and around it. That
Yeah,
is
yeah, it's
just
pretty amazing. And
so
this is
important.
something we're going to spend a lot more time in at Make-A-Wish Canada, is really continuing to understand those impacts and be able to share them, because we get qualitative stories all the time from Wish kids and families about the impact it's had on the child, or even on the siblings, who,
Yeah.
can often feel so disconnected from their siblings when they're, if their sister or brother's in the hospital for multiple years. That relationship is hard, right?
Mhm.
Like and they worry too. They feel disconnected from potentially their other parent or guardian who's with their sibling in the hospital. And these wishes create this opportunity for a family to come together. That is powerful. And it lives with that child and their family for their whole life. That positive experience. We hear stories time and time again. We've been granting wishes in Canada for 41 years. Like I said, people come forward. They had their wish 30 years ago. They still talk about it. They still
Oh,
talk about it at the
wow.
dinner table. It's
Yeah.
still meaningful for them, because at a time when it was so hard and it felt so unfair, people they didn't know,
Mhm.
people in their community, the wish makers, they came around and they saw them and they supported them. That sticks with you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and absolutely. When you mentioned like the siblings, that it's such a huge aspect. And for Waylon, it meant so much for him to be able to walk alongside his sister as
Yeah.
her wish journey began. And when it came to her wish reveal day, and
Yeah.
Bella was, um, 6, 7, and he was like 2, 3 as her wish journey started and went through until she received her castle in her backyard. But just their attention to him also being, the sibling of this medically complex child that's
Yeah.
receiving such a wish, and just the attention that they paid to him as well. And the parts of her wish that he got to be a part of, and the way he was
Yeah.
included, it was just is meaningful. And those memories stay with him, and he talks about them all the time. And her wish is something that will stay with us at our home
Yeah.
forever, and he
Yeah.
plays on it every day. Like, it's they're just the way that they bring so much meaning to it for the wish kid as well as a sibling, if they have one, is just like, it's meant the world to us for sure in our family.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Kyla. Like you said, that no child goes through critical illness alone.
Hmm.
No person should, but no child does. There are
Yeah.
siblings, there are parents, there are guardians, whatever your family situation is.
Yeah.
There are people that are walking that journey with you, and so it's really important to us at Make a Wish that everyone who's in the home, who's part of that family journey, is part of the wish experience.
I have kind of a funny question for you. Maybe, I don't
Okay.
know. I hope it's kind of a funny question, but I only think of it as funny is because it's like I was trying so hard as the mom to like hold back and be like, "Oh, Bella, wish for a pony. Wish, wish for a pony. We have 10 acres.
Yeah,
I really want a
yeah,
horse." Like all
yeah.
my childhood dreams. How do you how do you deal with parents that you can kind of
Mm.
tell are a little kind of not swindling, but trying to like, get their
Suggestive.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
do you deal with
Yeah.
suggestive parents?
Yeah. So, well, we have very well trained wish coordinators, whether they're staff or volunteers, who actually
Yeah.
do the wish discovery process. And the wish discovery isn't just a, hey, what's your wish? It's actually a whole series of questions where we're getting to know that child. What really matters to them, what their favorite colors are, what's their favorite food, what do they like to do on a rainy day, right? Like all these questions where we really get to know that child and what matters to them. And that's
Yeah.
also why we explore 3 wishes against those 5 different types of wishes, so that we can understand different things. We have had examples where, there was recently a child, I won't say where, but I heard from a wish coordinator where the child said they wanted to be a farmer, and they live in a big city. And so they were like, they want to be a farmer. So the idea of going to a farm is just like, because they live in a big city, so foreign to them. And little boy wanted to be a farmer, and apparently the parent was like, "Are you sure you don't want to go to Disney?" And the child's like, "No, I want to be a cow." Right. So but this is where, like, parents have such the best intention, right? Like,
Yeah.
they want the best for their child, and we see that.
Yeah.
And parents, there's, I would say, more often than not, for sure, parents are very supportive of their child's wish. because that's our, I mean, as we're both parents, we want to understand what their innermost wish is and make that come true, because that's the magic, right? It's not about the value. It's about seeing and understanding them and then making the craziest thing happen. Like meeting a cow in a big city.
You want to meet a cow? Let them meet a cow.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, our team is having so much fun designing what this farmer experience is going to be. Like, it's just,
awesome.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's really, really good. Oh, good. Okay, so before we wrap up, can you remind our listeners how they can support Make-A-Wish on social media and anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah. So, I mean, follow us, first of all. We're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Just follow us, learn our stories, come on our journey, because we're telling lots of amazing stories of wish kids and wish makers every day. So please follow us. That would be great. You'll see us, join us on makeawish.ca to learn more, and you can see all of our handles there. And that's also, please go there and see how you can get involved. Like I said, we're not asking everyone to do everything. We're asking everyone to just do something. So please join us, and then you'll get on our email list is another really important way to stay connected to us, and you'll learn about things going on in your community, and also more incredible stories of these beautiful wish kids and their families who are facing these incredible journeys, but so incredibly supported by Make-A-Wish on that journey every day.
Oh, thank you so much, Meaghan, the CEO of Make-A-Wish Canada. And so just as in closing, I want to say, like, what we spoke about today reminds us that why Make-A-Wish is so much more than just a wish. It is hope. It is joy. It's a journey. And it's a reminder that even in the hardest moments, there is still magic to be found. My daughter Bella faced every challenge with incredible bravery, and her wish was a moment of pure happiness and a joyful journey. I know so many other families have experienced that same kind of light through Make-A-Wish. If today's conversation has inspired you, I encourage you to learn more. Like Meaghan just mentioned, get to their website, get involved, become a wish maker, and support this incredible organization in bringing hope to more kids, and specifically our Canadian kids. Thank you, Meaghan, for sharing your heart and all of the work that you do to make wishes come true. And thank you for all of you for listening in today and continuing to keep my daughter Bella's brave spirit alive.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kyla.
Okay, it says, Bella, Brazil loves you.
What's Brazil? Is that like a state or country? Oh, country?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, in South America.